What up, racer? ItsJerone here, and you're joining me for the 10th round of the FRL season, and we're here around Suzuka. For me personally, it's not one of my favorite tracks. I know it's very common that people do like this track, but personally, I've never really had a vibe around this place, and well, we'll have to make the best of it, of course. Anyways, if you did not see the previous episode, then I would highly recommend you go check that one out. It was my best finish in FRL, and it will be spoiled in 5 seconds if you don't click off the video. Anyways, after the high in the USA, I'll have to try and do my best, of course. For Suzuka, it's quite similar in the form that you have to manage tire temperatures around here, but I just don't feel that strong around this place, and I think this first qualifying lap on the medium tire showed. I decided to abandon this lap. Wasn't really a good lap. Should also be noted we're only with 14 drivers today, and 4 of them have actually received a qualifying ban due to, well, I'm not exactly sure, retiring on track, maybe some other things in previous rounds. So there are only 10 people that will qualify, hence why I decided to go for the medium tires, and so far qualifying is not off to a high because, well, you can see first lap wasn't great and second lap I spun. But let's listen to Jeff.
No threat of rain for the time being. Conditions looking good. Dry seem like the fastest tire at the moment.
If you paid attention at the start of the video, then you could see the weather forecast, and it expected rain to be there after 10 minutes and throughout the rest of qualifying. But apparently there just is no rain at all. So I think this is the first time I've ever seen a weather forecast being wrong. And, well, I don't mind, to be honest. I think qualifying on the medium tires is the way to go. So I actually decided to go out again on this set of medium tires, which I used for basically a lap and a half now. And this lap, third time, is actually a really clean one. So just went through turn 1, took that pretty nicely. Then you want to get as close to these curbs in these S's as possible. But you don't want to do what I did on my first lap and actually touch them, because that's when you spin round. Could have been a little bit more aggressive on the traction here, but you have to keep in mind that I only did practice for like half an hour for this race. Then second Degner was a bit too early on that apex. Then braking for this hairpin, I get some nice rotation and I think some excellent traction here on the medium tires. And as you can see, I'm 2.5 tenths up on that first lap, which I aborted. Of course I finished that lap because immediately after I went for that run in which I spun. Then going through Spoon, this time I'm getting the traction down a lot better on this exit, don't get an oversteer moment, and looking quite good on this lap so far. I was quite satisfied with this. It's not completely committed, but with the limited practice I had, I think I'm quite satisfied with this lap. Putting brake bias up to 58% for the Casio triangle. I could have cut the inside curb for the left-hander a little bit more, tight line to the line, and in the end it's a 28.8 if I can read that correctly. And it's actually quite competitive with the time that the medium runners have put in so far. I think in time trial also did only like a 28.4, so to be doing this time on mediums is quite good. Then here you can see there are 4 people that will not qualify during this session. Then I actually decided to go out for another lap on softs and enjoy. After seeing Zach spin as well, I was just laughing at that point, and I really couldn't keep up my concentration and invalidated the lap. I probably wouldn't have set the lap anyways, because I would have needed to improve by like half a second in order to get into top 3, and I just thought that it wasn't worth it, and I'd rather start on P7 on mediums. I probably wouldn't have made that top 3 anyways, but anyways, we're going into the race now, of course lowering the fuel load. Not sure at this stage whether I'm gonna try a medium soft or a medium hard. But you can see, of course, everyone outside of the top 10 is starting on mediums. And besides all the chaos that just happened in qualifying there, I'm not sure what some of the drivers are doing and why they're making their way forward here on the formation lap. But whatever. Anyways, qualified in P7 on the mediums, and of course I'm hoping to get a good start. But before that, you can see my fronts are significantly warmer than my rear tires, so getting on the throttle a little bit here, and cheeky little spinala on the formation lap, no problem at all. Fortunately you can't get damage on the formation lap, which works in my favor, I guess. As you can see, tire wear 7%. And now we have 2 red lights, 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights, trying to get a good start. And I get very good traction. As you can see, I get better off the line than all the soft runners around me. So on a compound harder, I got a better start than basically everyone else. But Heyoo and Terror Racer essentially formed a roadblock, and I couldn't do anything with the extra overspeed I had. But I was not expecting that to be so quick off the line. And in the end, we're all going single file through these S's here. And for now I managed to hold my position in P7. Of course, trying to stay as close as possible. Try to keep it in 1 second until the DRS range has been activated, which is lap 3 of course. So currently going through lap, just getting a feel for how this car feels on the high fuel, because I hadn't practiced that. I ran a little bit deep into the hairpin here, but on the exit I get better traction due to my wider line than Koen. And overall I would say this first lap was a W. Managed to keep my position and stay quite close to the soft runners ahead. So overall, good opening lap. Then lap 2 you can see field is spreading a little bit, and I'm 8/10 behind Heyoo at this point. But then I clip the grass on the right hand side a little bit, and I go off track at Spoon, which means that's an opportunity for Koen, and he takes my position. So I've let one soft runner by, but now you can see Sunset Beach Bar also going for it around the outside of 130R, squeezing quite a little bit off the track, but he manages to hold it, and then he sends it down my inside at the Casio Triangle. And fair enough, that's a really good move by Sunset. Personally, I wasn't too happy with that mistake, because I felt like I could probably just about keep up with the soft runners, or if I would drop outside of the DRS window, I would probably get back within 1 second quite quickly, as we now see Koen and Sunset Beach Bar colliding. So the two drives that just overtook me have now collided, and already there's now a 3.5 second gap to Heyoo, as Yogurt got a better exit due to me having to brake a lot harder there. Gets past me. Symbolix having a little look as well, but that's not gonna work when I have the inside for the first part of the Casio Triangle. And first 3 laps are absolute chaos as well, and having to defend a little bit here from Symbolix, but in the end I am close enough here to maintain my position. I wasn't particularly happy with the fact we lost so much ground to all the soft runners now, but at least I was hoping Yogurt could carry us on his fresh medium compound tires. But in the end he decided to get an oversteer moment and spin off into the gravel trap, and in the end he also retires from the session, so he probably couldn't keep his car under control. So not very optimal that we now have quite a sizable gap to the top 6. But once again I am the first medium runner now. As you can see in the background there, Symbolix also making a mistake on the traction. I think he tried to line up a move on me and got too eager on the throttle, and he puts it into the wall as well.
There are no plans for a safety car right now.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Nothing new here. Jeff's been smoking or drinking again. But this of course is a prime opportunity for the soft runners to put on a new set of tires, and probably for me as well, because I'll have to take the time that I can gain during this safety car, and essentially I'm forced onto a set of hard compound tires. And interestingly, quite a few soft runners, or basically all the soft runners I think, decide to go on medium tires, and I wasn't quite sure if they were going to make the end on these, because as you could see my tires were about 25% after 6 race laps, and they were 7% at the start of the formation lap, so that's like 18% in 6 laps time. So if you would do 20 more laps, then you'd probably get to like 60 to 65%. So tires could make it, but it would be quite tight. And I'm not sure what Heyoo was doing, but I think he made a bit of a strategic mess and accidentally put on soft compound tires, as someone in front who hadn't pit has also decided to go into the pit lane. And I think at this stage there's only one driver at the front in the form of Yannick, and we're getting a really late call that the safety car will come in. So we'll see when Yannick goes, as someone else actually goes into the pit lane. It's Sylvan, who probably had damage, but we get a much better restart here than Zach. He's weaving all over the place and having a little look, making my car appear in his mirrors, but I couldn't do anything, couldn't get the overspeed. I think that was a little bit of an issue with my setup. I think I was running a little bit too much downforce, and as you can see, that is Yannick spinning there on the left hand side as well. So on that last lap I managed to stay quite close to all the medium runners here on my hard compound tire, but I think one of the reasons for that was the fact that Yannick was still on old mediums. And you can see here I'm making a mistake and hitting the curb on that right hand side, and that completely messed up my braking. And instead of being about 7 tenths behind Zach, we're now nearly 8 tenths behind, nearly 9 tenths, and this will be quite crucial because I'm not within slipstreaming range anymore. And as I was saying, I think Yannick was holding up the other medium runners a little bit, because 7 laps of tire wear is quite significant around here. And now everyone else has clean air. So on this lap I had to use quite a lot of ERS to get back within the 1 second window to Zach, but then for the Casio triangle, another crucial mistake I think, running quite significantly too deep, and in the end I have to use a lot of ERS to defend from terror. The ERS has not been activated yet, and I managed to hold this position for now. But more importantly, it will be very tough now to keep within range of all the medium runners in front. You can see him 9.5 tenths behind, and over this lap it unfortunately extended to over a second. So I was pushing quite hard on the ERS. This lap I didn't make any mistakes, but I had to go defensive into turn 1, and I just about don't have enough ERS to do something, and I missed a DRS range by 19 thousandths of a second. And I think this was, or 2 laps ago, that was the crucial phase in this race. I didn't drive optimally and should have stayed a lot closer. And you can see the closing speeds from Terror Racer, and at this stage I wasn't sure whether he was actually going to go for a move. And I decided not to defend, but he actually sends it down the inside. And in hindsight I think I should have defended here. It would have cost the race for probably both Terror Racer and Heyoo, because it would have created quite a significant gap between them and Zach. But it would have been better for my race in the end, I think. You can see once again I'm running on fumes when it comes to my ERS levels, and in the Casio triangle this time I do get DRS, but I'm already 9 tenths away from Terror again. And even though I get DRS, I have nothing to defend with on the battery, and Heyoo actually pulls ahead basically before the turning point. I could have stuck my nose in there, but I felt like it would have been too risky to lose a front wing there. And yeah, this was not great at all. Currently down to P6 again, after I got up to P4 with Yannick spinning and all the others coming into the pit lane. Unfortunately, I also pick up my 3-second time penalty here on lap 13, which is not optimal because Suzuka is actually quite a difficult track to get time penalties around, but I already managed to get one within 13 laps, so that's not great. And once again, I missed the DRS range by about well, less than half a tenth. So we'll skip on quite a few laps now to lap 16. You can see the gap has grown to 2.5 seconds. And you can see Aston Martin stranded on the right hand side. And that was Gazizel out of the session. He most likely lost it on the traction on that exit curb. So you can see we're up to lap 24 now, and it's getting really feisty up ahead. A massive battle had evolved between Zach, who was basically leading Heyoo and Terror Racer for quite a while, and they're battling heavily now into turn 1 and in the Casio Triangle. Zach has been overtaken on the straight by both drivers, I think, and FRL Jeroen is actually the lead car and pulled away significantly from this group ahead of me. During the 10 laps you didn't see, I basically kept my head down and tried to push and get back within DRS range, because I knew the tires would come back to me at the end of the race. And you can see lap 25 here, we're actually really close now. Terror currently leading this train, but Heyoo is looking to make amends to that and pulls past using slipstream and a bit of energy, and Terror actually has to defend to make sure Zach doesn't also slip past, and manages to do so successfully. Then we're about to head into the final lap. I'm still on 40% ERS and trying to get a good exit here, but I get a little oversteer moment, and I'm gonna try and drain the battery here to have one final attempt at Zach. It would of course be for pride, but once again I can't manage to get the overspeed heading into turn 1. So realistically there's only one more opportunity, and that is the final straight leading from Spoon Curve all the way up to the Casio Triangle. I think here at this hairpin Terror made a little mistake, and it actually means now that Zach is closer to him than I am to Zach. So Zach got quite a bit of slipstream there down that straight heading into Spoon. Of course he gets a bit of dirty air here, and actually he gets an oversteer moment on the exit. So we're gonna drain the battery once again, try and make a move for pride for P4 in this race, and gonna drain the last bit of the battery on this final part of the straight. He's defending the middle of the track, and I'm not close enough and can't do anything. Then Terror on this exit actually got quite a poor one, but it is enough for him to hold on to the podium, and overall it's FRL Jeroen winning this race in a dominant display. Then it's Heyoo with a very good second place. Terror holds on to P3, Zach P4, myself I finish in P5, and I think overall only 7 drivers made the finish line. What a crazy race it was though, with a lot of action, a lot of spinalas, and a weather forecast that's wrong. Yes, admittedly it's on approximate, so it can be wrong, but it's the first time I've ever seen it actually happen. And overall, for my race, I think I could have done better. There were a couple of mistakes in the race, quite a few crucial ones, which meant I couldn't hold on to DRS, and I probably should have defended from Terror by the time I was about to lose DRS. Overall, it also didn't help that Yannick made that mistake on his old mediums, because if he was still in the race, I'm pretty sure I would have been able to keep into DRS range. Anyways, if you fancy it, you can subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye bye.